and I was getting 1 second faster in 1 year. There are athletes, especially in sprinting, who have like big contracts, they're earning millions, but I would say like 60% of the Olympic athletes, that's extremely tough. So in my career, I never saw anybody.
What's going on, guys? Caesar from the Sprint Project here. I interviewed Matthias BÜHLER, who is a 2 times Olympian and 8 times national champion. I asked you guys what you want me to ask him. You guys gave me a ton of questions. I asked him nearly everything. The interview is almost 2 hours long. If you want to see the full thing, check the description on how to do that. Let's get into it.
I trained like 5 times a week, and our sessions are always like 2.5 hours. So it was a lot of intense training, a lot of sprints, a lot of lifting, but also after this hard sessions, good recovery. But yeah, in the recovery sessions, you do a lot of like easy running, core training, stability. So recovery training is not like, okay, I sit down and rest. It's also tough too. So as a sprinter, you mostly do like 3 hard training sessions a week. And that's always a combination of sprinting and lifting afterwards. It looks like getting up in the morning, having breakfast, then around 9 to 10 a.m. in the morning, you have your training sessions. You start on the track or on a grass field, to get wet. Then you have your little break. Then you have your weightlifting session until like probably 2 or 3. Then we all go home. We have our protein shake. We have our lunch. Then mostly we have a therapy session or like stretching session in a facility. If there are any problems with the muscles. And then you go to bed and rest, and that's like on a daily basis. It's good to answer because I started with like 11-12 seconds, and then I was running 10.5, and then I saw athletes who were running like 9.9. Actually, one time in my group I had like I think 5 athletes, sub 10 sprinters, and the big difference is that for sure the talent, but talent is just like maybe 30%, and 70% is hard work. So you develop over the years. It's like sometimes it takes you like probably like 5, 6, 7 years to be on this elite level. Not everybody's like Usain Bolt and like 16 and you always do like youth records, and sometimes it takes a lot of time to develop, and then you're getting faster, you're getting stronger, your technique is getting better, you sometimes switching codes a couple times, and then like you get on this very high level, and it takes a lot of effort, a lot of time, and also a lot of good people around you, like therapy, and also a good lifestyle, even with like family, girlfriend. It's extremely important, and if you do a lot of things right and you have the talent and you put all your effort in, then it's possible to really go down to these crazy times. I had 1 year when I was 20. My PR in hurdling was like 15.0, what is like not very, very good. And I was getting 1 second faster in 1 year. So from 15.0 to like 39, 14.0. And that's pretty close to standards for even, European championships. And then I felt like, all right, if I push more and even train more and train harder. And at this time I was also working 40 hours a week. So I knew when I really focus on my sports, then it's probably possible that I can. I would say, especially in Rio, that the food is awful. Like the Olympics are amazing. Especially in London, I was competing in London 2012, and I was going into the stadium and there were like 80,000 people in the morning at 10 a.m. And you get goosebumps. It's just, I will never forget that feeling. The atmosphere is so good. To compete there, it's just like, it's amazing and it's a big dream. But living in the Olympic Village, I never enjoyed. Like the bed was not very good, I didn't sleep so well, and the food was, maybe I'm spoiled, I like organic, good food, and I like to eat, but I was disappointed. But everything else, and especially like walking or running there in the stadium, and the stadium is full and the crowd are going crazy, and that's amazing. But the food is just like below average. I think it's very important to train in a group. To train by yourself is always tough. So at the moment I train by myself too. So it's like 2 years, but I have like a lot of experience, and all these years I trained with a group. And it's important, that you're motivated and that you have like a good, intelligent program. So you often see young athletes, they just like train, and they're sprinting like 5 times a week. And probably you can do this maybe like 1 or 2 years, but then your body will break down. So it's just extremely important that you have a very intelligent and healthy program, and that you listen to your body, and then you just have to develop. So in the beginning, especially for me, I was always a very skinny guy, and lifting was very tough. It took me forever to have like decent like squats or like deadlift weights, and it's just most important that you stay with it, that you try to develop day by day, but with a patient and with like healthy mindset. Yeah, so it depends. Actually, it depends on the country you live. So there are a lot of difference. In some countries you get a very good support. In some countries you get a bad support. There are athletes, especially in sprinting, who have like big contracts. They're earning millions. But I would say like 60% of the Olympic athletes, they don't earn much. Most athletes are like soldiers or working for the police. They have special programs, so you have like 1 month of like soldier work or police work, or 2 months, and then the rest of the year you can just do your sports and get paid. So every country has different possibilities for Olympic athletes to earn money. If you're very good, you're running at the Diamond League or at the World Challenge meetings, you get prize money for sure. They're mostly like 3,000 for the first place in the World Challenge, or like 1,000 for like the 5th place. Around that, it's not a lot, but it's pretty competitive. So you need to be on a very good level to run in these meets. And then you have contracts with like Nike or Adidas, but it's pretty tough to have good contracts, yeah, for sure. So I would say like most athletes, especially in the beginning, you need to work part-time for sure, and then do like your track session in your career. For me, I didn't earn much money. In the beginning, I earned a little bit of money, but then now I don't earn money. So I prepare my season now for the Europeans next year in Munich, but I don't earn any money.
Okay.
I'm sponsored by my parents, but yeah, it's my passion, and after my career I want to work as a coach. And I also, I was an IT guy before, and I also worked as an IT guy. So I have my job background, which is very important. So you should never do, okay, I just do Olympic sports and that's it. You need a background or study something that you have like this financial safety. Yeah. Actually, no. So I would say just average when I was a kid, and I was average when I was like around 15, 16, 70 years. But I got faster and faster, and when I was 18 I was running 11.1, so that's decent, or 100 meter. And then I decided to switch clubs and really focus on track and field. So like in my first years until I was 18, I was just training like 2 times a week. I didn't do any lifting, I was just training for fun. And then I really focused on and did like training 5 times a week and a lot of lifting, and tried to be as professional as possible. And then I make big progress, and then I was getting faster, and I was running 10.5 when I was around 21. So in the beginning of the preparation, you start with like shorter sprinting. You start with like not like block starts, but you work on your acceleration a little bit. And then after like 1 or 2 months, if your acceleration is getting better and better, and you're in general more fit, then you go to a longer distance, like 50 meter, 80 meter, and then like shortly before competitions, you go to 100 meters. So it's more like step by step. So I wouldn't recommend to start the training with like, I don't know, like 200-meter runs or 300-meter runs. You have this conditioning runs too, but not for sprinting. It's more like a conditioning session with like maybe 70% effort. So really sprinting in the beginning of the season, you should start with lower distance for sure. Because if you're not fit and you're running like 200-meter, you do this in a very slow pace, and your nervous system should never get used to a slow pace. It's always maximum effort. And quality is always more important than quantity. Yeah, I mostly do the same warm-up. It's around 45 minutes. It's based on how you warm up. I always run a little bit, then I do my mobility, then I do my stretching. Not like, sitting on the floor and stretching for 20 minutes. It's more like dynamic stretching. And then I'm starting with a little bit like A skip, B skip, all this coordinational stuff. And total effort of like 45 minutes. So, there are different weightlifting, like the heavy weightlifting, you should do probably like in the beginning, maybe just 1 time a week. 2 times a week would be the best. 3 times a week is even for elite athletes very tough. So I would recommend, when you start sprinting, and you probably sprint on a Tuesday and on a Saturday, after that you do like heavy lifting, not like super heavy, but heavier lifting, like squats, deadlifts, and like hamstring exercises. And then during the time from Wednesday to Friday, you do like easier lifts and like core training, ab training, something for the back. But like heavy lifting only 2 times a week. If you lift all the time heavy, your body will break down for sure. So I always did during the season only light lifts. So like box jumps and quick step and all this. I have on my channel a lot of fast exercises you can see. And it's very important, because if you're like competing and you're running 100 meter, 200 meter, and you're like extremely tired from the competition, and then during the week you do like heavy lifts, and then you have another competition, that would break you completely down. There are exceptions, like extreme strong athletes, they do a little bit heavy lifting, but not like super heavy. It's more like medium heavy. You can do this during the season, or maybe like 1 month before or 2 weeks before. But in general, all the athletes I trained with, they just did fast lifting to really get this fast twitch into your muscle system. So when you're probably doing competition, you do like a couple fast excels on the grass field, and then you put your spikes on, and then you do it on the track. So it's always a little bit of combination, but especially in the beginning, when you start a season, I would recommend to do only sprint on the grass field. Mostly the dominant leg is in front, but I would say, so as an athlete, it's good to have 2 strong legs, but it's more like how you go into the blocks when you're like a child. You don't think about, and you go into the block. So my coaches in America, they recommend to have 60 to 70 hours sleep a week. So 10 hours a day, including naps. So as an athlete, you just should sleep as much as you can, because that's the best recovery you can have. So I would say, so you have mostly like a head coach. You have mostly like 2 assistant coaches who, helping with training and give you technical stuff too, coaching you too. Then you have a therapist most of the time, a massage therapist, and a chiropractor. So 2. And then a training group around you, and I think, but it's different. I think there are athletes who don't have any therapy at the track. Just depends where you train and how the facility is. Most or some even track and field Olympic athletes, they train by themselves. But mostly you have like a group around with like 6, 7, 8 to 10 people now. So max velocity is extremely important. Different things. I do a lot of wicket runs. I have also a video on my channel. It's also good tempo runs. So when you talk about 100 meter, to be fast from 70 to 100, you need a lot of like endurance. That doesn't mean that you run like 800 meter or do like 5 kilometer or stuff like that. It's just that you're very powerful, and you need to do a lot of tempo runs. Often you do like, for example, 4 times 150 meters with like 6 minutes rest or 8 minutes rest, that you're fully recovered, and then you run again. And that makes you pretty strong at the end of the race. And then also in general, just getting strong, you know, having very, like, probably as a sprinter, the most important body part are the hips. So a lot of single leg exercises are extremely effective. Also hamstring exercises, but also, you know, upper body is important too. So as an athlete, you have to be in general strong, no weaknesses, and then your end speed will be good too. So actually, I have a video on that too. I have one video 1 week before competition as a hurdler and 1 week before as a sprinter. So during competition, you don't train too much. Often people think, you know, you're still pushing and you're still lifting and go crazy. But it's more like during the season, it's more like for your nervous system. So you often start the week on Monday very easy. So you do like maybe some jumps, some easy runs. Then you probably do like a block start session on Tuesday. Afterwards, you do like fast exercises for like fast lifts, like I said. They're very important that your nervous system gets stimulated. Then on a Wednesday, it's mostly like a recovery session. You do stretching, you probably some easy run, something just for recovery, maybe an ice bath, stuff like that. And then mostly on a Thursday, so when you compete on a Sunday, on a Saturday or Sunday, on Thursday you do like pre-comp session. That means when you're a sprinter, you do like block starts, maybe 1 time 10 meter, 2 times 20 meter, 2 times 40 meter, and that's it. So it's always very quick and fast, but it doesn't take too long, because before competition, if you train too much and you do like, I don't know, like 5 100 meter, for example, your body gets tired and you need this quickness all the time. Your nervous system needs to stay recovered, so you're feeling great on the day when you compete. It's okay when you're nervous, it's okay when you're emotional, but it shouldn't be like completely crazy, yeah. But it's completely normal. It doesn't matter if you're like 10 years old and it's your first competition, or if you're on a professional stage. There's always this nervous feeling inside, and it's a very excited feeling, and that's good, because you know you feel you want to run fast, and if you feel that, that's completely alright. And I was always extremely nervous. It got better when I went to the track and I was in the start block and I did my thing, then I'm in my tunnel. But especially like the day before, so nervous. And doesn't matter which stage you're on. I'm still nervous when I'm running for regional games or regional competitions. I think the most important thing actually is that you get rid of sugar. That's what most people cannot do it, because they're addicted to sugar, and sugar really kills your immune system. And if your immune system is weak, it's very tough to compete on or to work on a professional stage. And then, you know, before training, I would recommend to eat just proteins. So I eat an omelet every morning, because carbs are very hard to digest, and if your body is digesting, you have issues to run fast. After training, it's important to have carbs, you know, because your body is exhausted. Also protein and a lot of vegetables. Protein shake for sure too. But it's, you know, protein shake is very tricky because there are a lot of garbage on the market. It's very, very important that you have like an organic, healthy, plant-based protein shake, I would say. And then, you know, for dinner, it's the same. It's very good always to eat warm, and during the times that you eat, you know, a lot of like salmon, for example, nuts, you know, that you drink enough. I also like to drink like water with lemon and coconut water to get hydrated. So it's very complex. There are a lot of things. There are also a lot of opinions, and everybody do it different. But in general, sugar kills everything. That's my statement. That's extremely tough. So in my career, I never saw anybody taking anything. So, you know, you hear all these athletes, you know, that he's get banned. The problem is, you can earn a lot of money in track and field. Even, you know, it's not like American football or soccer where you're a millionaire automatically if you're professional. But if you're like winning a medal in sprinting, you get very rich. So you cannot trust that everybody is clean. But I love the sports, and I always hope that everybody is clean. But yeah, like the history, especially in sprinting, is pretty bad. And I was always cheater, and they do it mostly for money. But the system, like the truck system behind, you know, the testing system is very, very tough. So elite athletes get tested like 10, maybe more, probably like 20 times a year. You have to write down where you are everywhere. When you just go like 30 minutes to the supermarket, you have to write in, I go to the supermarket if somebody's coming, that they can test you. So it's, I think, comparing to the last years, like the 80s and the 90s, the sports get much cleaner, for sure. But it is not too bad, you know, like you type in, you know, I don't know if you go to like 10 different places. Normally you go maybe to work, or you go to your training, and then you're at home, or you're like at a friend's house. I don't think it's very complicated. It's just a normal app, and that's part of the system. And you know, you're a professional athlete, and it should be equal for everybody. That's probably sometimes it's a problem because every country is a little bit different. But in general, most countries have this system, and it's fair that everybody is typing in where you are. That's how you can you can make this possible that the sport's getting clean or stays clean. One thing, stay motivated. That's most important. It's all about the mindset. It's something you want, and you have to know not everybody can be an Olympic athlete, but even if you try to be as fast as possible, and you probably get from like, I would say like 12:0 to like 10:5, and you make progress, that really makes you happy. And if you make it to the international stage or you don't, it shouldn't be like your thoughts all the time. It should be, okay, my thought was since day one, how fast can I be? Like in the beginning, I never thought I could make it to the national stage, because I was always like average in all kinds, like in coordination, in sprinting, in hurdling, and everything else, the javelin throw, all kind of track and field stuff. So your thoughts should not be, okay, I want to be Olympic athletes. The thought should be, how fast can I be? And what's happened if I really put 100% effort and 100% motivation into my sports? That's definitely the best mindset for that. Yes, 100%. Even so, like in Germany, the support for athletes is pretty bad. So I competed 2 times at the Olympics, didn't get any money, but like the life experience and the satisfaction was like 1000%. So most track and field athletes, they were just so passionate about our sport, and like for me especially, like I said, when I was younger, I was just like average. I wasn't fast, I wasn't strong, I wasn't coordinated, I was just like an average athlete. And then like year by year I got faster, and for me it's a dream. It's a big dream, and I would recommend to everybody who's trying to be an Olympic athlete and wanna try to compete on a professional stage, try it for sure. Even if you fail and you see after like 5-6 years, man, I cannot do it, but it's worth the job to try for sure. Yeah,
That's awesome.
It's so much fun. And even like I said, if you're running, I would say like 13:0 and you train very hard, and then you're going down to 11:5, that's a big success. You know, you get faster, and then you can be proud of yourself. That's all. It's not only about like the big goals, the Olympic dream. It's more like, how fast can I be? And if I get faster, you have this extremely satisfaction. And if you make it to professional stage, yeah, it's awesome for sure.
That's up this interview. To find his Instagram and YouTube, check the description. And if you enjoyed this video, you're gonna enjoy this one even more. Click here right now.